I think now is probably a good opportunity, good point to flip it over to the audience. So I'm sort of conscious that we're possibly pushing on time.
Imagine you just said just that intro part, yeah, and then like wrap it up, guys. We need to get out of here.
So I think we've got time for
one question.
Two questions.
Wrap it up, guys. Get them out. Get them out. These guys can
If we're
chat.
looking at our time, we're happy to stay.
They said they want to shut the. They got
If
to
you
shut
want
the
to shut
doors.
this place down, it's down to you. But if you want us to stay,
They said they got
we're
to shut
happy
the
to
doors.
carry on talking. In terms of answering questions, because that's what we're here to hear about. What you guys want to ask now.
Sure. And I think there's a possibility that we could possibly carry the conversation on upstairs. It's just I'm conscious
Oh,
of...
no. We don't do stairs.
Oh, you don't do stairs?
No,
Okay,
on
not at
rock
all.
and roll, we don't do stairs. We get carried upstairs at the end of the night.
Well, yeah. We'll take first question from the lady in pink.
What was your name, sorry?
Dolly.
Hey, Dolly.
Microphone, yeah.
It was great to hear about your McDonald's days. I confess I haven't worked in McDonald's, but I've had very similar jobs and find that time I would spend thinking about my career and dreams and all of that kind of thing. And I wondered whether you remember what you thought about during those times and whether you had like a plan, as you say, these serendipitous moments that can change your life, but what you thought about and kind of reflecting back on what has happened since.
Yeah, totally. Great question, firstly. And I'm all for serendipity in life. I think if you can see it, it's that there's these beautiful moments where they can end up being sliding doors, or they can... We're actually doing lots of movie titles now, so like thrown off. But McDonald's for me was... I was always just thinking, I need to find collateral, I need to find money so I can... I wanted to create music, but I didn't know how to actually, my entry point, how it was going to happen. That's the thing that I think we try to overanalyze, that what's going to be the point at which I enter. I was actually thinking, you know what, if I was in college and I was, at the same time as sort of in and around the McDonald's sort of period of time, I was rinsing out all the paper and the printer cartridges upstairs. Everyone's like, why are you in the library all the time, Craig? You're working really hard. I was like, well, if you could see that I'm just making mixtape covers, rinse. You got to use the utensils, you got to use what you got, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like you're here in Cambridge, there's going to be a chance to use some things to help you. And what I thought was like, maybe I could work in richer sounds and be closer to hi-fi equipment. Maybe that was my sort of, and I was kind of happy with that because I kept going there all the time, buying new bits of equipment. But I always had this, there was this fire inside, and I can't really, it was something that said, like, I'm going to be doing something to do with music, and I had and because I embodied what I was doing, like I lived, when you said you saw the vinyl in my house, when you live something, when you embody that thing, I'm not talking about, let's talk about it and have a little conversation, like by the time we're still having the convo, I'm already going off buying the thing, I'm gone. That vortex that you create is so powerful that it then aligns you, and you have those serendipitous moments where I met Mark Hill, who was in the same club I was performing in. I was DJing R&B hip hop, he was doing garage and house upstairs. He's looking for a top-line melody guy, I'm looking for a musician. His studio's 5 minutes down the road, boom, 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 next thing we have Rewind and Born to Do It. So I think that those moments for me were so key because I needed time as well. Bless you.
Thank you.
Sometimes you don't realize that the thing that you... Bless you again.
Thank you.
Watch you. Those moments that take...
Sorry, I've just come back.
That give you some space as well. I think everyone's rushing for they want I want to get the thing. Okay, cool. But when you get the thing, were you ever really ready? So, like I said, redistributing those little tokens and eating the fries and going into when they put me to do the stock take of the fridge, and there was all the chocolate Cadbury flakes on the side, and it'd be like, okay, like 1, 2, 3 ice cream, 1 flake for me. 1, 2, 3 ice cream, another flake for me. It was great times. And I could think about Fill Me In the 7 Days and Cocoa Butter and all these tunes. So, sorry if I longed that out, but that's the sentiment. Dolly, love your vibe.
I'm really keen to...
wrap it up.
Not wrap it up. I've been told that we need to move on a bit. But
Yeah.
I'm going to take 2 questions back-to-back from the audience, and then I think we'll move towards the end of the audience, so any of the event. So if we could take the first question from here, and then go straight to the second question, which will come from the lady on that side.
Oh.
And
Did you want to
controversy. Or controversy, whichever one you want to...
maybe, I don't know. Yeah, thank you so much for coming to speak here. It's been really interesting hearing you speak. But to Colin, you were saying that you left school at 16, and then you kind of went into the industry and did one thing, and then you kind of went into management and kind of went around a bit. And I was wondering what you would say to someone like in kind of our position who's graduating from university about who might want to get into the music industry, what kind of things you should be doing, or like where to start. What did you do when you were 16 coming in? Were you just kind of open to everything, or did you have a really clear vision of, you know, I want to work here, I want to do this? Yeah.
That's a good question.
Sure. And if we could throw it back to the next question, and then we'll answer both at the same time.
Ooh,
Good.
look at that, back to back.
So the lady at the front, here.
Hiya.
Hey, how are you?
Good, thank you. My question's for you. Do you think fame has had any negative effect on you?
On, what was the question? What had?
Has fame had any negative effect?
And there's one question for somebody there, just very, very quickly. We'll throw it
Yeah,
in.
we'll go through
Quickly at the end.
very
there.
quickly.
I'll ask you another time.
Okay, no problem.
Boom. Drop
There
the
we are.
mic.
You see?
Drop the mic on that.
So
He's
music
standing
industry
by the
and
school
then
rules.
fame as well.
Yeah,
Nice
yeah.
mix, I think.
Over to you, the music industry question from the young gentleman. What was your name, sorry? Samuel.
Samuel, it's very interesting because although I, as you say, went from one thing to another, it was all interconnected. So, and again, the universe moved my path, because you'd have said to me when I was playing rock and roll in a band that I was going to be an artist manager. I said to you, you're absolutely mad. So ultimately, they can keep on sounding the horn, but we'll keep on talking because we're in the rock and roll business, my friend. And that's what we do until you bring down the curtain. And given that there's no curtain, you ain't bringing it down. And so what we actually do, what I did was follow my dream. You know, I carried on doing what naturally I felt I loved. So if I loved music, producing it, if I loved listening to music, there was just a way I needed to be involved in it. And the truth is that I honestly feel I've never worked a day in my life. And that's the art of success. You know, you may measure success, all of you as students, by your financial gains, but trust me, I measure it by literally knowing that I've never worked a day in my life. Okay, it may be, you know, yes, I have a lot of great things that I've earned through this business. Don't get me wrong, I'm not being sort of, you know, oh wow, you know, yes, I do. I've been very successful. But if you follow your heart in the music business, you will find what's right for you. And that's what I say to you. Follow your heart and don't ever think about it being work. And if you do that, you'll be successful. I guarantee it. And good luck.
Wisdom.
And what was your name, sorry? Georgia. Has fame impacted me negatively at all? Do you know what? It's something that you need to adjust to. Because I remember like as simple as walking up the high street in Southampton where I grew up and remembering it as being just, you know, going to buy records on the Monday and just being chill and you see some friends, and it was a small place at Southampton, so you sort of knew everyone. And not the closest of friends, you'd just be like hi, or you wouldn't even, you know what I mean, you know them, but you wouldn't necessarily hi. When everything went super fast and super crazy with Born to Do It, I remember walking up the high street and people just, so many people coming up and just being, oh, Craig, man, let me get, and this time it was like still like a camera kind of situation. Oh, let me get an autograph. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. But it was really interesting to see that people that would normally just walk past me and be like, oh, yeah, whatever, it's Craig from the state, were super gassed and super hype. So it was just an interesting dynamic that changed. And I'd say that it hasn't, you can look at it from a negative if you want to say, well, some of the things that you may want to do, which is just like, I don't know, 5 p.m., like, or 6 p.m., sort of rush hour, going to Tesco's and just like, as basic as this, you think like, wow, that would just like, just to go in there and be really anonymous and just enjoy those things. Because those are the things that the man of the people who like, I'll go in and vibe, will end up just getting past the fruit and veg part, and it will just sort of get a little bit like, I guess we're not getting any fruit and veg today, we're going to go back out. Because I'll turn into, because I love to give people that time. I know that little 2-minute moment or a selfie, it means so much to someone else. So I go into that mode and I love it. But there is a fine line between how much you rein that back in, because you've got to have your self-care as well. Otherwise, it's give, 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 and there's only one pot of energy, and you want to have enough to still be able to give. It's a really fine line, 'cause especially if you're empathic and you feel people's energy. You can feel when someone wants that vibe, and I want to give it, but you're like, and I'll always try my best. So I think the only part for me is I wish that I had more energy sometimes, because I feel it if I'm rushed through something and I didn't get the chance to say thank you. That's why sometimes meet and greets I found, like we've done in the past, like we do them and I'd be like, yeah, I'm up for it, but if you're cool with keeping the store open for a couple of hours, after hours, then we're good, because I'm going to hear every anecdote that you're going to tell me. We're going to tell me the story of when you first heard my song and what that meant to you. I can't do let me do one quick selfie, dip. You've come here and you're going to share a story.
No.
I can't even keep, I'm just passionate about it.
And just to wrap it up, because I know how passionate you are,
Yeah.
the answer to your question is yes, he has changed. Fame has made him change for the better, okay, in so much that he gives so much. He's used his fame in so many positive ways and to help so many other people. So yes, it has changed him. It's made him better, and he's used his fame as some artists don't, but he's used his fame as the most possible and positive way that you could ever imagine to empower someone with. So, you know, the answer to your question is yes.
Amazing. Thank you so
Wicked.
much.
Thank you.
I'd just like to say how grateful we are for both of you accepting our invitations and indeed spending time to talk to us today. And I know that I'm speaking on behalf of the audience when I say that a lot of what was shared with us today deeply resonated, whether it was the statements on accountability, not blaming others, or where talent sort of expresses itself, as you said, in the fight or flight moments. So thank you so much for sharing that with us today.